£50 that Alec would hate this and Pat would love it, and I'd lose both bets. But it is just because I know them and what the films Pat and Alec like, because Pat loves stupid, silly action movies with a lot of stupid, dumb comedy, and this film has a lot of the dumb comedy in it, and that's not a bad thing. And Alec loves like really kind of like really precise, well, intricately written, perfectly um, edited with great dialogue that's so snappy and sharp. He loves all that stuff. He loves anything that's so like mechanically well engineered to be perfect, as we know. And Emperor's New Groove doesn't quite have that, but it plays into it. It knows it's not going to be that. It's because it's channeling into the old Warner Brothers Looney Tunes stupid cartoon humor that you'd watch when you turn on the TV on Saturday. So that
point, that was one of the things, the reverence and like
That always annoys me with Deadpool is
I've been and
I suppose it was out at the same time as Shrek, right?
very since mm,
And
tricycle.
I'm still not getting audio. Is that what's going on?
Yeah. Because it was even Discord was like, we can't hear your beautiful voice on you're something wrong with your mic. I was like, wait, what? But it was very odd. It was very odd. But now it's fixed. I can hear and see you guys now. That's fine. It's fine.
All
right. So it was well. Oh wait, Rob, have you spoken to Dan lately?
I spoke to him yesterday.
Oh, that's good.
Okay. Have you talked to him about? Oh wait, have you started recording yet?
I can cut stuff out. Don't worry.
That's about like Magic Gathering stuff. That's a cool question because I spoke to him like a couple of days ago. I found the Bloomsburrow Squirrel deck.
Oh yeah.
I saw it and I went, doesn't Dan want this? I was looking. I was like, should I just buy this, like, just in case? I guess because like it was so hard to get. I was like, I'm buying it, right? So I bought it. I asked him if he still wanted it, and he's like, yeah, I ordered it ages ago. Just sold out everywhere. I was like, do you want it? And I was like, yes, of course I've got that one. It's for Coral. And I was like, oh, yeah, sure. Okay, I've got in my possession a present for Coral because of Dan, I guess. And I was like, oh, okay, go. Because if he didn't need it, all right, I would have been like, okay, could just put it into my Chatterfan deck, and it'll just be unstoppable. And I was like, yeah, okay. But I was like, if he needs it, then I've got him. I've got present secure. I don't know when I'll see him next time. I guess it'll be like when we go on the lads trip again.
So the place that he ordered it from, so he got it at like pre-order price, and then I think they put the price up after he pre-ordered it, and then they must have fulfilled those like more expensive orders first, and then they cancelled his.
It's only because I was going around buying, like, looking for places that were doing the. I was asking around, like, the other shops I was going to. I was like, did you order Final Fantasy, like, collector's boosters? And they're like, yes. Can I pre-order them from you? That's not really how that works. It's like, I mean, like, I get what you're trying to do. That's not how that works. All you can do is this. We'll save some for you to buy later. That we won't be like as evil as those people who like scalp you. I was like, okay, fair enough. And it's like, it was like, okay, at least I know if I do want to buy some collector's boosters. Like I just opened one like a few moments ago. I was like, oh yeah, I've got a pretty sweet card in that. It's like, yeah. And that version is not even the most expensive version. It's like even higher tier called fractured foil version. So that's like 150 odd quid. My one's like 40 pounds, maybe 50 pounds at most. But I was like, it's not a bad version. Yeah, but the fractured version is like 150. It's like, oh, that's like expensive.
Yeah, some of those special figures are mad. So like the Jurassic Park ones were the worst because literally the only foil bit was like the Jurassic Park logo in the middle of the card, and that was some cards being worth like 50p and being worth like 60-70 quid.
Oh Christ, that's a big difference.
Yeah. Literally just that little stamp in the middle of the card, and to be honest, it looks shit. Like,
I mean, I haven't seen any of those Jurassic Park. I've seen some of the Jurassic Park ones, but I haven't seen a lot of them. So I'll keep my opinions to myself for now until I actually see like how they look. I guess we also have to see how the new Dragonstorm and Avatar: The Last Airbender Universes Beyond looks like.
So some stuff has leaked for the Tarkir set, and it looks really interesting. So on the pre-releases, they're doing like themed ones.
Yeah, there's 5 of them, right?
Yeah, so there's 5 different ones, and then they've got like a seeded packing so that you can stay in the color identity that you want to stay in. It's pretty cool. Okay. I don't know if they do it at events though, like if they just like have people line up and it's first come first served kind of thing.
I mean, I guess you could just do it. You could do it like in brackets. I go, okay, do you want to do this bracket and do that bracket? Oh, what sort of like bracket of your card power are you? So we could just like do that as like, okay, sure, tournament style, yeah.
They've got to do it pretty evenly, though, because if you're doing five different styles, then I mean it doesn't work out. Well, I suppose it kind of does actually. I suppose you've got to hope that you get an amount of people that's divisible by 5 and 2. Otherwise, somebody's going to end up with a deck that they don't want.
I mean, yeah, that's true, but like that really depends on like how the places play it. I mean, 5 decks is like 5 colors. Unless you want to do unless there's like one that's like colorless, then it'll be 6. Then it'll be like, oh, it makes sense. But like we'll see how it goes. We'll see how that stuff releases. But enough talking about Magic. Instead, we should talk about this film, and we should go with. Why is it always me doing the intros? I feel like it's just it. Okay. Like in any case, Corey, why did you pick this film?
Oh, can I ask first? Are Emmanuel and Camilla not coming tonight, or are they?
Oh
Oh yes,
They haven't mentioned anything.
I'm coming, just cleaning.
Oh, awesome. Rachel's come in, so that's fine.
Because Pat gave an opinion on the chat earlier. I'm saddened by his opinion, but like I get where he's coming from. But it's like, that's sad. But it's like, and Alec said he's not coming because I'm not sure.
He hasn't said why.
So he hasn't said a thing. No.
Oh, okay. Okay. I mean, like if he's not, I mean, he's got his own stuff to do. Then let him do his own stuff. I guess should we message Emmanuel? I mean, he might be with family right now. I don't want to disturb.
I'll tag him right now. But yeah, we can continue.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I just thought I'd check first. Okay, so the reason I picked this film is because it's something that I've enjoyed a lot. I saw it when it first came out. I was 14, I think I was, if I'm doing the math right. and it just really left a like lasting impression on me. It makes me laugh. And contrary to Pat's opinion, I think I really enjoyed Doug in particular. I think David Spade is so hilarious. And he really, I think his voice acting is really what took this over the top for me. But overall, it just like ticks so many boxes of just like, the music and the heartwarming story. Like, who doesn't like to hear about like this like spoiled brat turning out to be an okay person? And so yeah, it just really it hits a lot of boxes for me. And it's something that I hadn't seen it in a little while. I've watched it a handful of times. But yeah, it's still to this day, it still keeps up and I still very much enjoy it. So if in terms of anything else I could say, and in particular, and it's come up, and I'll just reiterate that I really love the creativity of how like it refers to itself and like breaks away from like breaks the fourth wall, so to speak. And I just thought it was that part in particular was what made it fun and different, and I think they did a good job with that. So yeah, and there's also a fair few memes that have come out of it that I enjoy. And so yeah, it's in terms of just like animations across the board, yeah, I would say it's not like the cream of the crop, like the most like Pat compared it to Lion King. No, it cannot be Lion King. But uh but I still think it does a fantastic job. And to hear how it didn't really do well when it first came out, like, yeah, I think I forgot that like not a whole lot of people have seen this or knew about it. So it's just like, yeah, I'm glad to have brought it up, and I'm glad some people enjoyed it. I'm sorry to have made Pat go through that again. But yeah, so yeah, I look forward to hearing what everybody thought.
Yeah, I'm surprised it didn't do too well when it came out. But I suppose it was like that sort of time where like hand-drawn animation was on its way out, CGI was on its way in. As if it was like a year after Shrek and the same year as Dinosaur, then that's like there's maybe like only like Lilo and Stitch that came after this, maybe.
Which came after?
Lilo and Stitch, maybe.
Oh, Lilo and Stitch. Oh, that's another good one.
I can't think of like any other hand-drawn Disney films that would have been after.
Hmm.
Yeah, I can't remember when Lilo and Stitch came out. I have to check that out because I know we spoke about it before. It was around this era where they're transitioning from, like the old, more musical, big Broadway type animations of the 90s into the more experimental stuff, and then they kind of lost their footing a bit until they started to do CGI animation, for better or worse. So it's this weird transitional period of them Disney not sure where they're gonna do.
Yeah. I was saying to Rachel though, like I do think it's a shame that Disney doesn't do it anymore, because when you look at like films like this and like Hercules and Aladdin and like all of those films, like there's a very like distinct Disney style, and I don't think they've really got that anymore. Like sort of like it's kind of like now it's any sort of CGI animation could be Disney or DreamWorks.
Yeah, that's a good point, because when they were 2D animated, you could tell that somehow they kind of like made sure that it had the more of a like identity when they were like that, and then when they became 3D CGI animation, it kind of all was a bit more homogenized. Everything looked too similar. There's only really Pixar was trying to push the boat out a bit, but every other studio is kind of like, yeah, we're all kind of in the same sort of mold. And yeah,
Because like when you look at a Pixar guy, I make a joke quite often that like certain people look like Pixar characters, because they do have like a sort of there is a bit of an aesthetic to Pixar. I don't think Disney have really got it though. Like, and it's weird because everything that Pixar does goes out through Disney, so I don't know how Disney have missed it. Yeah, but I think if you look at like Moana, or if you look at like anything that DreamWorks are doing, like I don't think if you didn't have the studio name on it, you'd be able to like, sort of. But back then, it was so clear. Like you'd never mistake like I mean like the closest is maybe Iron Giant, but then even then like the people who made Iron Giant all came from Disney anyway. It's like,
Back to the film.
what do you mean? I'm talking about the animation.
Yeah, but you haven't actually given your opening statement.
Oh, you
Mine. I fall into a kind of more of a similar to that. I think. Not a dream, but definitely kind of at some point. This is the first scene. That's something completely different. I don't really know what I'm like fundamental. I guess. And it didn't feel like maybe other Disney films I enjoyed. And again, I don't know if that's because if I'd watched it as maybe would have maybe like that. I can't think of it's a bit like the what was he called? The village guy. I don't know his name.
Oh, Pacha?
Actually, yeah. A lot of he kind of like what's the word, like told like rather than showed. It was things of like, oh, but if you're kind, what will happen, or very nice happen. As an adult, had a bit more subtlety or that to kind of come through the storyline, and yeah, so something around that. I thought there was a couple. I think I said to you a couple of times, and I like, oh my goodness, it's so on the nose. It's really like jarring. It was jarring me, but it got kind of better. I think towards the end, it was that middle bit where they're in the water, or by the water, the tout with the poncho kind of thing. That kind of scene, I think, took out for me. think I like the word. Like your story and the story. Yeah, quite. To the country, then there were two, like four arrogance, kind of that kind of like, and then also for a bit I liked about the stuff that I think it was after well, that's what I had feelings that I had, but is on when I was younger, it might be quite fond.
For like over 2 decades. So like some things, yeah, do
Mhm.
just kind of wash over me. And when you say something like some of the dialogue being kind of on the nose, and now that I think of it, like I can see that, especially from
Yeah.
Pacha specifically. Yeah. Simon?
Being one of the people who've watched it when they were younger, forgot about it, rethink about it because of memes, because I wasn't sure if I remember things mostly from actually watching it or seeing memes online. It's probably a mix of both.
Yeah.
It's
It had even more memes than Road to El Dorado. I forgot how
it's
damn
so
cool.
I think I've seen the memes.
there's like three
I think I know the memes.
there are three main ones. But we'll get into that in a second. As an opening statement, I'll say this: the writing is it's a U. It's not PG, right? If it was a PG film where it's like has a bit more action, a bit more like character drama, let's say, then I would have like understood where you guys were coming from, to be honest. And it was just one of those things where it's like, okay. Then afterwards, I'll understand that there should be more character development. There should be more what's the word? There should be more like understandings of each character and their like individual natures. But because it is a U, I give it like a bit of a pass because it literally is the most like Looney Tunes of like Disney films. I don't know if that makes sense, but I think it makes sense in my head at least. It's so cartoonish in its way. It's just like, well, is that like a contrivance or is that like just them or just being like as a kids movie? Who cares? It's like, oh, okay, yeah, it makes sense. It's like there was a scene where like she's like where Yusma is like running out of the like cupboard. There's the kid who's buffing the floor with like an ancient Mayan floor buffer, and you're like, why does that make sense? It just does because reasons. And it's just like, okay, it's like it's so simple, but yet so it gets away with it because it's a children's film, which understandable that there is a moral behind the story. There's him about learning how he should be instead of the way he is. I think that's the point of it. I don't know if that counts as like it being it's for the kids to understand. Oh yeah, just try to be a better person. This is why you should be a better person. That's it. Yeah. I agree that the writing is a bit simple in that sense. I think it's okay to be simple because it is for a children's film. I feel like if you wanted like to develop like the story wise and like seeing things how they develop, you could have gone into like a Cusco's like backstory, I guess. But I don't know if that's what the film was trying to go for, instead of just like being the main fourth wall breaking like kids film that it is. If we saw like a history behind it, like I've never seen like Kronk's New Groove, which is like the sequel. I don't know if there's like if that's actually interesting or is it just like Disney trying to make money. I don't know. It's probably both. No, actually, no. It's probably just mostly Disney trying to make money. It's. I mean, that's the way it is. But it's just like I haven't watched that. Maybe there's actually the second like backstory behind Kronk and why he is in his ways. His very what the hell do people call him? Oh yeah, his very himbo coded ways. Yes. So I like. There might be like a reason behind it. I wouldn't know because I haven't watched it. But it's like it's fine. It's fine for me. It's like it's fine for what it is, and like because even as and for me, I liked it. I liked it. I think my scores is probably on the higher end. It's because I've always liked fourth wall breaking jokes, even as a kid, because it felt like the characters were talking to you directly, and I always liked that as a child. It's like watching puppets and they're talking to you, and it's like, oh, I feel like I have interaction with the film. So like this is like I didn't realize how many fourth wall breaking, how like the fourth wall doesn't really exist in this film pretty much. I didn't realize how well it's made in like fourth wall breaking. It's like one of the top 5 fourth wall breaking films I've seen lately. I was like, oh yeah, this is pretty good. It's like I never thought. I forgot how fun it was, even though it was kind of simple. That's just generally how I feel about it. So that's fine. And yeah, that in itself is fine. I don't know. It feels like because it's simple, because it's a kids movie, it gets away with it. If it was something more, it would require more, but it doesn't because it doesn't need to be.
Yeah, very well said. I think I'll probably echo a lot of what you guys are saying as well, which I hinted at before. But knowing more about the behind the scenes of this film makes it more interesting and more of me giving it the benefit of doubt of how good a film it is, despite everything that was going on. Because I think it was a very straight, kind of more conventional Disney movie. When it was originally pitched, when it was originally storyboarded, like Sting was going to do the soundtrack entirely. He was going to do like 5 or 6 songs, and when that was happening, he had everything all written and made, and everything was kind of getting to the kind of closing part of like the recording of all the dialogue and all the music. The animation had not been finished or finalized, but the higher ups suddenly decided to change drastically a lot of this film the last second. So there was a lot of things that were cut out. Like Owen Wilson was going to be the voice of Patcher, I think, for instance. So they completely changed around there. And I think it was going to be more close to like, if you guys know the classic story of the Prince and the Pauper. The kind of like where the pauper and the prince switch roles and literally become spend a day in the life of what the other is, to see how it is and how the pros and cons to each side of their lives. That was basically the idea of what the Emperor's New Groove was going to be. So they completely scrapped a lot of it and rewrote a lot of it. And I don't think Kronk was in the original cut of the first rough animatic they did. So they completely added him in the last couple of months. So it's amazing how well and brilliant of a character he is, considering he was a late addition. And Yzma was always there, but she had like singing numbers, she had songs and stuff. She was a bit more fleshed out. So there was pros and cons to both of the way this film was going to end up. And I think Disney weren't really confident with it, and I don't think they were pleased with the changes they made. So hence, when it came out, they didn't really promote it or market it very well. They didn't know how to promote it or market it. And therefore, because of that, it didn't do very well because they weren't sure what kind of film they had in their hands. And I think, as we sort of spoke before last year when someone picked Shrek, is that DreamWorks knew exactly what film they had. They had this very kind of like film that would twist all the conventions, turn things over on their heads, kind of thing. And Emperor's New Groove does that, but it doesn't do it in the same way Shrek does it. It kind of doesn't fully commit. And I think Disney was afraid to make that much of a commitment to all these kind of in-jokes about their own properties and stuff, and kind of like be very self referencing and what's the word of taking the piss out of yourself, but kind of like being aware of it.
Okay.
Yeah, basically that. They were very reluctant to do that when some of the creators of this film were really on board in doing so. But obviously the higher-ups were like, no, I don't think we can do that. And it's just such a shame because I think this film, as brilliant as it is, I think it could have pushed itself further. And watching it again made me feel like, yeah, they kind of could have gone a bit more PG with this and could have pushed the boat out a little bit further and made it even more kind of more like something like Shrek was, just a bit more kind of like tongue-in-cheek. And it does have that, but it does it in a way that's kind of like Simon says, and what I mentioned before, it was just like this Saturday morning cartoon, this Looney Tunes, Warner Brothers animation, where it's very madcap and silly and anything can happen because it's a cartoon kind of thing. No, there's no rules. You can do what you like, and the reason why it's funny because it breaks the fourth wall. It's kind of like this when Yzma goes, hang on, how did we get here so fast? And Conk's like, yeah, by any accounts, it doesn't make any sense. And it's kind of like that's part of the humor, is because they poke at those things that otherwise and any other film wouldn't reference, but the fact that they poke at it and realize, hang on, we're just going to go along with the ride, and that's why it's so funny, because the humor of it is still in the right place, and despite all the problems they had behind the scenes, they're trying to kind of like, look, this didn't work, but we can try and find something, a humorous thing we could mention to kind of make it funny and make it worthwhile. Like, yeah, there's a plot hole here. How do we address that? By making characters address it, and it kind of like gives them a free pass in a sense. and it's so that's why I admire it. It's despite everything falling apart around them, they managed to make a good film despite all that. And I think it would have gone over my head as a kid when I did see it, and I just thought it was a silly film. It was like fine, it was fun, but I was at the age where I was like, I was kind of not growing out of Disney, but being a bit more like, oh, I want to discover more things. I'm growing up a bit. I want to do this and that. And it came out, or if I saw this when I was a bit younger, I probably wouldn't even have a closer relationship with some of the films that I isn't liking. But like I said, there's many masterpieces in their own way. So it's kind of like so much pressure because it's going on the back of those great classic Disney movies. This 50-year legacy and the great 90s renaissance that they had hit after hit after hit. So it had so much pressure on it, and it's Disney being like, okay, we don't want to do what we did before because then it's just we're losing our mojo. We're not going to be as creative if we keep doing the same thing. So we have to try and do things a bit different, and this was the first step in that direction. So it is a shame they couldn't go further with it, and it's such a shame after this they didn't really do much else, because I think after this it was Treasure Planet, Chicken Little, and Home and Range. So many of those are kind of very diminishing returns, you might say. And after that, I think they started to do 2D or 3D animation, and the last 2D animation they did was the Princess and the Frog, and that came out in the middle of all the other 3D animations. It was a fine film, but it was trying to kind of like bring this style back, and whether or not it was successful or not, I can't remember, but it was, yeah, it's such a strange trajectory they went on, but I think they had a lot of great creativity on display in this film, despite all the things that were hamstrung on the animators. So yeah, I can say it's good.
Matt,
the
Matt.
previous idea with the Prince and the Pauper though, because that to me makes more sense with the title. The title didn't really like Emperor's New Groove. I don't know. That like makes more sense if they were like swapped and the Emperor therefore was different. I don't know. The title didn't quite fit in necessarily with the story for me as well. So that's interesting that you've mentioned that. Yeah.
One thing to add to that is that apparently the mandate was, I can't remember the reason why, but they were like, we have to have a llama in it. And one of the producers was like, there has to be a llama in this film. He has to either be a llama or there has to be a llama sidekick. So I think they kind of had to compromise and be like, okay, what if the Emperor becomes a llama? And I was like, okay, sold. I don't know the reason why they. I think it was like because it was did the Aztec culture or something where llamas are quite they're kind of
right.
I think it was trying to into that. But yeah,
You forgot you.
No, I forgot he became a llama, but I just remember that's the part of the new groove, isn't it? I just didn't see.
yeah.
Oh, okay. I mean, like,
Another reason why the new groove fits for me too is like it ends up with him turning over a new leaf. Like he becomes like a better person and a newer, different kind of person. So
Yeah.
I'm just thinking of like Disney higher ups. I think because like typical Disney movies always have like a horse sidekick. I mean, Road to El Dorado and stuff. Just like, oh wait, if it was like a llama sidekick, it would be similar, but it will be too similar. So we're just like, no, you can't just use a llama to replace the horse. The llama has to be more important somehow. So like, all right, if he's the main character, it would make sense. But I just know I got blown. My mind just got blown because you mentioned the film like was it called like the not Chicken Little, the other one that you said the Ranch film. Yeah, that was the name I didn't hear for such a long time. I forgot. Yeah, Home of the Range. Sorry, I was like, I completely forgot about that film. Now that it's just the fact that you said it unlocked a part of my brain to go, oh, you mean with like the buffaloes and the cows and the stuff? I was like, oh right, yeah, I mean that was that unlocked a whole set of like Disney like films in my brain. I was like, wow, there's probably some very like commercially unsuccessful Disney films I just can't believe exists. The fact that I just remember Chicken Little just a little bit is like, oh yeah, it was okay.
Yeah.
It was great.
Like, okay, but watching them again, I don't think they're going to hold up.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. To a degree, so it's.
Yeah, but saying that, I think The Princess and the Frog really helps itself with having a very, very, very good antagonist villain character. Very good antagonist villain character. Which, like, compared to this film, where the antagonist, but the antagonist sidekick who's not really an antagonist.
Yeah, he's and it's just like really evil.
Yeah, he's too.
That's what's great about Kronk.
Yeah, but he's so good. He's so good. But it's a question of like, oh, but he's supposed to be the antagonist, kind of, but not really. And it's just like, I don't know how I feel. It's one of those things like, I love the character. Don't know if I should really love him because he's a good guy or a bad guy, or is it just because of how charismatic he is? It's like mostly the charismatic part. It's like, but you're supposed to be the bad guy, aren't you? But you're not, and it's just like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's just let Kronk be Kronk. It's fine.
Which is like, I love it when I feel complex and confused about whether I should like an antagonist. That's my favorite. I love complex antagonists, and I'm shocked that Kronk was only added in like a couple of months before they started production, which is just incredible. And I did hear before that I'm not surprised to hear that so much was shaken up before the movie was made, because I heard that when they produced it, when they were like recording the voices and all that stuff, they weren't working with like a cohesive finished script. It was like a bunch of like pieces of script that they were working.
That's the thing. That was the problem. They were just using rough storyboards and kind of like ideas and scenes that they wanted to piece together, which is not the best way to make a movie. You have to have a good script, and then you have a great storyboard, and then you make.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I
Oh,
suppose it's kind of the great performance of. But what like you guys said about that voice acting, I think that's the most important thing about it. Was how I think it needs more credit, and not only Dave Spade, but not only John Goodman, Patrick Warburton. He brought Tronk alive. I think any other actor probably won't make him as endearing and all that, and even Eartha Kitt as well. She kind of like brought her A game of this like very sly, very charismatic but dastardly kind of. They're very very like. I know we said before, me and Rob will say, "Oh yeah, they're very Simpsons-ish characters," but I think they go that as well as like Looney Tunes-ish and Hanna-Barbera as well. They've got this kind of like dastardly and Muttley kind of vibe together. It just works really well because you kind of like they're villains, but you kind of love them at the same time because one, they keep failing, and two, they're so entertaining to watch. And it's kind of like they do have a bit of a moral compass occasionally, especially Kron. But it's just it's just the way they bounce off each other and how they kind of that's what makes the film work. I think the characterization and the performances.
I think that is my favourite thing about Kronk is because it's kind of like clearly he's not like a typical villain, but I was kind of going on. I'm not sure he means well either. I think he's just completely oblivious to anything apart from his own mind. Like, and I'm surprised that Pat didn't get on board with him at least. I thought Pat would have. There was a few things that Kronk was doing and saying, and I was like, this is Pat humour. Like I don't know what's not landing for him. I don't know.
I was saying to Corey that the characters did remind me of us lot in some ways, in a very kind of like broad strokes. Like Kuzco is John. He is a very self-centered kind of in his own world. He thinks everything is about him.
That's mean. Right.
That's horrible. It gets worse. I was like, oh, Ismail is Alec.
What the fuck, you guys?
Yeah, and Kronk is Pat, and Pacho is Rob.
Yeah, I saw that coming.
You can see why Pacho all he cares about is his family and just being left alone to do what he wants, and he doesn't want some government official to try and force him out of his home and do this and that, and he's going to fight back no matter what it takes.
It's the bit where he was like, "No, I see some good in him." I was like,
John's got this conscience. He's got deep down a nice guy, and then he does something like, "Oh, God damn it!" And Yzma's like so controlling. He's like, "Yeah, I can rule this kingdom far better than John can." So his way is bullshit. So I know how to rule this land, right? And that's like, yeah, I'm gonna team up with Pat to get things done. And that was Alec's biggest downfall, was teaming up with Pat to get things his way.
I can totally see Alec trying to like overthrow a kingdom while Pat's in the kitchen of a restaurant.
And he's probably getting into it as well. He's like, yeah, you say this about you want the salad. Okay, 2 salads.
I mean,
it's good with kids as well. That's another thing with Pat. Kronk and Pat with that. Come on.
Somehow I can just see Pat going, "Oh, my spinach puffs." Okay, that's but that scene at the restaurant just like gave me such a weird. It just gave me like PTSD because I felt like the person who said that. It's just like, oh wait, no, that's actually how that feels like. Actually, it's just like you work it and you go because they say things like, I need a side of bacon. Give me a fry through pigs on the griddle. I was like, oh yeah, that's exactly how that works. It's just like too real, and I was like, it just gave me the heebie-jeebies. It's just like, I was like, I don't need to do that again. It's like it's fine. I'm fine. I don't need to come back in the kitchen.
Make up your mind.
Exactly. No, that happens. That happens in real life. I think it was just like, no, you can't have potato salad because you can't have potato salad without the cream if you want potato salad because the cream's in the salad. That's how you make the potato salad. That doesn't make sense. It's like, okay, sorry, that's just me going through all this situation.
I'm glad you're here, Emmanuel. I didn't think you were coming, but
Oh
awesome.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah, Emmanuel, did you want to say something before you
Before
fall
you fall
asleep?
asleep.
Yeah, I am struggling. It's just really nice to hear everyone. I just woke up like 10
Oh,
minutes ago or whatever. Yeah, I told Camilla that before. I was like, here's what I thought. Can you let them know? Because I ain't gonna I'm not gonna be awake. But then I guess she fell asleep too after me. Or lost track.
oh.
But just scored it. But yeah, I really like the film. I saw it. I think when I was older. I didn't see it as a kid. I don't think. But yeah, I saw it when I was older, and just as you guys were talking about how much of things were a mess when it was being made. Yeah, it's like I knew about a lot of that stuff as well. It just made me respect it even more because they were trying. The film almost didn't get made so many times. I think they were trying something new, going against. Was it like which studio properly was it? Like I know it's owned by Disney now, but like
It was still a 100% Disney animation, Disney Animation Studios. It was going up
yeah,
against DreamWorks at that era.
that's it. Yeah, DreamWorks. There was still that kind of I said rivalry for whatever at the time, and they're trying something different with this film and this script, and taking a chance with it. Um, but yeah, it had such great talent on it. That even though it was so fragmented, I think it came to they put it together really well. And yeah, I think I'm trying to think of how many people like almost worked on this project as well, but didn't work on the project. Is crazy, but really glad it exists. It's a great story, like for all ages, really. That whole kind of really self-centered, but then that whole journey. It, yeah, of a talking llama from a prince. Just everything. I thought everything was just rightly balanced, and even though I never experienced that personally in real life, what Simon was talking about, I did it resonated. I could imagine it. I was just like, this is great. It's just like this level of over the top cartoon humor on top of things that are very like it, you can imagine, or some people might have gone through, or you might have gone through some distant things. Even the part where you have a very kind of relatable family, and the mom was awesome. The mom and the kids. The part near the end where they're holding up the evil lady, the great aunt, um, in
That's
the,
good.
in the room. I said, "What you mean? Oh, turn the handle. There is no handle." I said, "Are you sure?" And the kids, like, this is not congruent or whatever. Like it was great. Just all of that together. And yeah, the little things in the voice acting that like she brought to the role, it made it seem more realistic, even though it was in this over the top cartoony kind of crazy world. They really still kept it grounded in a way. And yeah, just a lot of stuff. I was glad it exists. Thought they did a great job. I can't remember how successful it was at first. But
Wasn't very.
Yeah, it didn't really make.
yeah,
Yeah, it wasn't that successful. I think it's like I wouldn't even say it's a cult classic. It's like it made back its money. It didn't make a lot of money.
yeah. But yeah, I'm glad they took the chance. And yeah, I just really liked it in general. And that video I sent you, Corey, about the cinema diets, which remind me of like I can't think of who in film club it reminds me of, like two guys sitting on the couch just talking about films. But the psychology side of things. But yeah, that helped me appreciate a even deeper appreciation for it. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for flipping that to me. And thanks for reminding me about it again because I was going to watch it after I rewatched the movie and I forgot again. So I'll make sure to
That's
get to that. Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. Thanks, Emmanuel.
That's all right. Thanks for
Actually,
picking it.
Emmanuel actually reminded me something. The mum character is voiced by Wendy Malik, I think is what her name is. I remember her from a lot of like Disney stuff. She voice acts a lot. But it's a thing about her character. I can't actually remember the name of the mother character.
Hmm.
But there's something about it. It's like I don't know if it's like she's the first or maybe one of the only like human mothers that are actually visibly pregnant and afterwards has a baby during the course of like the film. I have yet to see like
You may be
obviously
right.
there's because like obviously she's a mum. Obviously she's got the two kids, but she's actually pregnant, and like I don't know if that's because the voice actress herself was pregnant, and that was just like a nod to that, or like if it was, it makes sense in its own like sort of way. But if it's like she's the first one to actually have a baby, and it was like actually a first human character because like if we talk about like things like Ice Age and what other stuff, it's like all right, that all gets like jumbled around anyway. But like she's the first human character to be pregnant and have the baby during the course of like the film. And it's like, oh, it's such a little weird like odd detail, but it's just like honestly, it's like, oh, she's actually human, and it actually just adds to like her being like it's a thing. It's not like a big thing, or just like it's just one of those things you can notice, and it's just like I don't think it's ever been repeated ever again. I was just like, oh, weird. It's interesting.
Was it not also to maybe highlight the time that he'd been gone in a way, and kind of like there? I don't know, maybe just to highlight the time that he'd been away from like home, for example. Actually, because she wasn't exactly like she was quite heavily pregnant, right? So actually, he'd been gone for maybe like 1 or 2 weeks, for example, in terms of the distance that it maybe took to travel back to the Emperor's palace or home, and obviously then his commitment to seeing it through with with the Emperor, for example. I don't know, maybe that's why.
I agree with that, but it's just like if it was Disney Saturday morning, like a cartoon show, if the character was like pregnant, usually there's the whole episode of her. Oh no, the water broke, and it's gotta be like a whole like escapades of getting her to the hospital so she can have the baby. Obviously, none of that happened in this film because all the escapades happened with them like running around and doing other stuff anyways. But it's just like it wasn't the main focus of the did you just stroke his sorry Rachel, did you just stroke Rob's belly?
Not because we talk about pregnancy, more just it was that.
Sorry, I just noticed that was going right out. I thought that was fucking hilarious, sorry.
No, it's more subconscious that his belly was out. We're not expecting, don't worry.
It was just very unexpected to go, oh yeah, talk about a pregnant character. Rob's belly. I was like, oh, okay. sorry about it. Getting distracted. Okay, but the point is, it's not a thing that was a main focus. It was a thing that's on the side. It's just an interesting tidbit I just saw and like seeing people talk about being just like a side tidbit. I was like, oh, that's interesting. I've never seen it done again. So I don't know. Maybe like other stories could do that again, but it's like not typically done. So I was like, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Interesting, because like it was so like subtly done and such a like just like a side part of the story. It wasn't made a big deal. It never occurred to me that hasn't been done a lot or ever since. So that's very interesting.
Which is which is a good point because Disney usually reuses a lot of like materials and jokes. There was a mahogany joke in this episode, and I was like, did they just seriously do a mahogany joke again? I was like, because like seeing it here, I just went, did I just think about Frozen straight away? Yeah, they did. They literally just did it. It was like, he goes, okay, Kronk, break down the heart. This is handcrafted mahogany. Are you kidding me? And I was just like, wait, where was that line from? That's like, oh no, that's literally just in Frozen. He goes, hey, stop scratch that wood. That's handcrafted mahogany. Yeah, I was like, oh, yeah, they literally did the same joke twice. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's just really unexpected to just see that in like, I guess as a kid, you never like see these things. Oh, I mean, you don't remember watching all the movies, but like as an adult watching back onto the movie, you go, wow, Disney really does like repeating stuff that it's done before. I guess it's easier that way, but it's just like I didn't realize how much stuff repeats in Disney films.
Lazy. I mean, maybe it's not lazy if it's like, that's a funny joke. I really appreciated that. I thought it was hilarious. I think it would be funny. It would be cool if it was just like something that becomes like an iconic joke to Disney, and just to like, I would think it would be funny for them to like throw it in at good spots. But I don't know. Was it literally in Frozen? They said the exact same phrase again.
I'm pretty sure it was. I think it was when Kristoff was with Anna, and like she scratches the cart or sleigh that they're in, and he's like, hey, don't scratch it. That's handcrafted mahogany. I was like, it was very close to the point where it's like you could just say they made a joke about mahogany being hard and expensive. I was like, yeah, okay, that's pretty much. They repeated it. The joke repeats itself. I was like, man, I just know I heard that joke before. It's like weird.
Was it definitely Frozen?
I'm pretty sure it was. It's where like Kristoff annoys the guy in the store and he gets kicked out. So, but like Anna gives him like the equipment, and they just go off to save like Elsa, and it's like, yeah, and he makes a joke about because like she scratches like the wood a bit, and I remember they're making a mahogany joke. I'm pretty sure it's something.
It doesn't come up when you Google it though. Doesn't, so I don't know. I feel like if it was a thing, it would come up on Google, but I don't know. Now we just have to watch Frozen, so I was going to have to pick Frozen for.
Okay, thanks. You got double bill, right? Frozen and Frozen 2, okay?
Mamma Mia.
Oh Christ! I just gonna. I feel like someone's stopping those blood.
Oh man, no. I'd rather Frozen 1 and 2. Saying that I've seen 2, but not 1.
Really?
Sorry, did you say? Wait, you see Frozen 2, but you haven't seen Frozen the original?
Yes.
Whoa, that's surprising.
That is an odd decision.
All the songs constantly from 1, but I only watched 2 with like a child at a time, and I was just like, oh, this 2 is a good film. I wonder what 1 is like.
Freeze harder.
I think I've only ever seen the first one. The first one is good. It's like I wasn't crazy about it like everybody, but
yeah, it's decent, but it's just so overrated. That's the problem with the first version.
Yeah, okay, I'll agree with that. It was good, but that song got played so much that it became
to Lion King so much. It's like, you seriously compare it to Lion King? Dude.
Yeah, it's
I would recommend 2. It sounds like quite a different like film. They took a different approach to it, and it's got like different things it's trying to tackle. I wonder. Yeah, I wonder if there's any kind of plot points that would annoy me, or characters that would annoy me in 1. Like I don't know. But anyway,
there probably is.
The antagonist is a butthead, a major butthead.
It's got possibilities to annoy me. Um, but the second one was was it seemed quite different from compared to other people I've talked to, and I was like, yeah, this is a good film, but yeah, it's not as I don't know. I say it's not as musical. I don't know. It's just a different film because I guess you got a lot of established things already. So now it was more of a kind of, I guess, film about dealing with discrimination, but also kind of is it like grudges, like long held like um I say ancestral grudges between like long-standing generations of families and different people and whatnot, and trying to overcome that for the betterment of everyone, kind of thing. I was like, oh, this is nice. But anyway,
Yeah, that's quite good.
Yeah, I mean, it's the case where the antagonists aren't really antagonists; they're just people who are being stupid, which is like a good, which is a, well, I mean, which is like it's a good thing. It's better than overly complicated. Well, I wouldn't say overly complicated. Sorry, I'm just saying it's where it, it's where like you have like in Emperor's New Groove where you have Yisma going through overly complicated stuff, which again makes her extremely cartoonish. And sorry, I saw the message that popped up. Not like Alex message is quite funny. It's not talking about when she lifts up her skirt and they're like, oh my god, and she's actually just pulling up her knife and they're like, whew. I mean that was funny. But I'm like when I'm
that's okay. This is
okay. Oh, actually that's whew. I'm talking about when she's talking about how she's planning to assassinate Cusco in the first place. Yes, I'm going to take him. I'm going to make him into a flea, then put him in a box, then put him in a larger box, then post that box to myself. Then I can smash him with a hammer. I was like, what? But why? It's like it's so overly complicated. Yeah,
And then
it's
Kronk actually mentions that. Is that what? Like, why don't we just poison him right now to save on postage? And it's just like,
I was like, oh yeah, it's way easier. It's like,
yeah.
But it's like you get over. Yeah, I mean, sometimes you get villains who go overly complicated with their plans. And it's just like you could have just shot him, or like it's just like it's just one of those. It's just one of those things. Just like but that's what makes them so cartoonishly well made.
Yeah,
and it's just like yeah, exactly. Pure. What's the cartoon I'm thinking? Oh, it's for Dick Dastardly versions of like villains, and it's like it's great, and that's what helps make it a cartoon, I guess. So yeah, that's all those things.
Yeah, this is definitely like humor is just the way to my heart, and that's why I love this movie so much. There's so many times where I just like laughed out loud. Really good stuff. Yeah. I guess now would be a good time to like, if people want, we could do our favorite scenes since like that's kind of what's coming to mind.
Oh, I have one this week. It was the payoff. Say like earlier on, when they fall down that kind of like I don't know, like cavern kind of thing, and then they go back to try and like walk up, and then it's the payoff later when it's like it's the architecture of where they are, and it's just like it was such a like I don't know. I think that was a moment where I was going like, okay, this is actually really effective because in terms of like what it is, sort of like on a literal level, it's not really anything. But when they went back to back again, I was like, yes, yeah. And I was like, if it can get me to do that on something so insignificant, it's doing all right.
Do you know what was another good part of that scene is it ends up like earlier beforehand like Kronk gets dropped down a trap door and then he ends up being the one to smash Kitty Yzma He's like, oh, that's where this is where the trapdoor ends. Like,
Yeah, that was another one of those Looney Tune moments where it's like, what are the chances of the door being here?
It's just all these little moments where like, it's like, where's that? And the random thing where they're all falling out from. They're literally when Yzma is falling, and like basically everyone's kind of like plunging to their deaths, so-called deaths, and then there's this trampoline salesman at the bottom. It's so Looney Tunes. And yeah, just little bits, and when they all get turned into like animals, all the Yzma's guards and stuff, and when the first guy goes out, I've been turned into a cow. Can I go home?
Anyone else?
That's
Does
so.
anyone else want to go home? If not,
I mean, like,
Yzma's like, fine, go home. Like,
yeah.
go home.
because, like, I mean, like, with no seriousness, as being turned into a cow is like, I mean, what do you expect me to do? Except for sit here and moo? It's like if one of them turned into, like, say, not a squirrel, let's say he turned into a bunny rabbit, he'd be like, I want to raise. It's like, yeah, okay, fine. Yeah, he goes, okay, keep going after him. But like, but I want to raise. Yeah, fine, just catch him first. So it's like, it makes sense. They turn into animals, and like, he can't do anything as a cow. I know. So yeah, on point.
Okay, my favorite scene, well, like one of my many favorite scenes, was like earlier in the movie where Pacha first realizes that that's not a llama, that's like the emperor, and he could talk, and he freaks out. He's like, oh, demon llama. And then
Yeah.
before oh shoot, what's the emperor's name? Cusco. This is before Cusco realizes that he himself is a llama, and so he just turns to the only actual llama, and he thinks that the real llama is the demon llama. It's just chaos. This is really funny. That's one of my favorite parts.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and the real llamas. He freaks out the real llama, and the real llama screams. It's just really funny.
There's so many.
Oh no, go on, man. What was gonna say?
Oh, I was just gonna say, there's so many like golden nuggets. Just a great moments in this film. Just keeps reminding me. It's just, yeah, so good.
No.
Sorry, carry on.
I was gonna say, I think I have one that's very similar to Rob's one. But whereas Rob's one is like, it's like, oh, I got like the meaning and like them working together. My one's very simple because there is like a setup, payoff, and extra payoff. It's the pull the lever crunk. So
Yeah.
when she pulls the lever, and it's like, why do we even have one of these levers? What was the purpose of this lever? I was like, I don't know. And afterwards, all the way right to near the end of the film, you see Cusco as his llama with like the crocodile biting his butt. I was like, why does she even have a lever for that? And it's like,
Yeah.
it took such a long time for that to even happen. But it was like, that's pure full breaking like setup there. It's just like it took such a long time for that movie just to even get to that second part of that joke. It's just like, but it's like dedication to the bit is like perfect, and it's like, yes, absolute applause. Like, what does she even have a lever that can make you like go into the point? What was the point of it? It's like, I don't know. It's like it makes sense. It just makes sense, and it's somehow perfect for this film. That's like, yeah, absolutely great. It's such a great scene.
Yeah. I agree. Like Camilla said in the chat for me. To add to that, I think why it just keeps coming into my head every once in a while as well now. Because the game I'm playing, it makes a reference to it, but in a very sly way. So the Baldur's Gate 3 is what I'm talking about specifically. And there's a part where you need to well, you don't need to, but you can rescue this kind of halfling gnome or whatnot who's on this windmill just being spun around and round that he's being bullied. And if you choose to go and rescue him, there's two levers, but you don't realize there's two. And so the first one you pull it makes the windmill spin really fast, and then just throw him out in the distance. And I was like, oh crap, wrong lever. And I was like, wait. And it's like, pull the lever, wrong lever, crunk. And that just goes in my head. And so I had to reload it, go back and pull the right lever so I can actually stop it and save him.
That's
I was
awesome.
just, yeah, I was just like, oh, that was a great reference. It's just like, but yeah, and also what Simon said, it's just like, why do we even have that? And then it's just like, why does she even have that? And it is, yeah, just very thoughtful and aware of itself.
Mm.
And it's just, yeah, I feel like, yeah, as much as the development it went through, it gave quite, I feel like it gave quite a bit of freedom to the people making it in a way anyway. And I know it was almost a very different film as well. So you might have talked about that already, did you?
Sorry, I was like replaying one of the funny scenes in my head, and I was laughing by myself in my head. So sorry.
Yeah, I did touch on like what the original draft of the film would have been when it was conceptualized and storyboarded before they made like changes in on the 11th hour.
Yeah. And it was like did the original guy or whatnot leave as well because the vision wasn't what he wanted anymore.
I think so. Yeah, I think many of the animators stayed on, but I think one of the main creative consultants did go. I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah. I was like, man, this film went through it. I was like, I'm glad it was this instead of what it was gonna be something. I feel like it was gonna be something more serious. I said more
Yeah.
serious. It was gonna have a more serious tone to it.
It certainly
It was
would have
giving
been.
me, like the Prince and the Pauper story. Yeah.
And it had Sting's soundtrack would have been a bit more on the serious side as well. I think there was only two songs that survived from it. Were the end credit song and the one Tom Jones sings.
Yeah, I
did
forgot about Sting.
Yeah, he sang that he was the end credits, and that was it. Did you say he had another song in the middle?
He wrote the Tom Jones one.
Oh, he wrote the Tom Jones one. Oh, okay.
Yeah, in the intro. And that's such a great track.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
surprised
forgot.
to hear that. That's not a very like. It's not a very Sting song.
No.
Hmm.
That's surprising.
Ain't that a stinger? One of my favourite scenes, that hasn't been mentioned because everything we've mentioned has been brilliant. And I think anytime that Kronk has his little arguments with his shoulder angel and shoulder devil, the literal like devil and angel on his shoulders, and has the arguments back and forth, and it just kind of like explains his mind in a very literal sense of what's going on and how he decides what he wants to do, and all those the first time he has that debate, the internal monologue, and then the second time, that's sort of like the proper like Looney Tunes level dialogue. It's like, oh no, he's got a point, and all those little bits like that. It's just it's just made me laugh because of how creative it was and how silly it was.
Yeah. Oh, and how like there's a scene where he's talking to his angels, but like nobody else sees the angels on his shoulder. But
yeah, and they're like.
Yeah. Oh, as a related note, that was like, in terms of just like how well movie has aged in general, I think it's pretty good. But I did notice some like things, some humor that I was like, I would have liked that left out if it were to be made again. And it was like with the angels, like there was some like outdated like gender stereotypes, with the making fun of him having a sissy harp and like
oh yeah, when they used that word, yeah.
Yeah.
And his dress, like making fun of him for wearing a dress, like I thought that was a little.
Yeah, I mean, admittedly, I feel like during that early 2000s time, they had they had the same joke that they had in like a lot of other films. They had the Bugs. Oh, I feel like it started with Bugs Bunny. It's like where they have to dress up like a lady thing and just like pretend. It's like it's in lots of. I feel like it started off with Bugs Bunny, but I think we've seen it in what Ben's other think of like with Pee Wee Herman, Pee Wee's like Big Adventure. It's like we've seen it this. It's like it's very typical like joke during that like time period. It's just like one of those things that they did. It's like, at least I hope they don't do that joke anymore nowadays. But like I don't know if
not Disney.
They probably like kept doing it until about let's say 2005, and afterwards they're like, oh, actually maybe that's I feel like that's we should tune that down just a little bit, just to make it's a bit inappropriate. So I mean, they at least now modern days they've probably like not done it anymore. Hope so. They haven't done it anymore. But it's like it's just the joke of the time period. It's just like I guess it's what they did. But it's like
Yeah, at least it was small. It was really small stuff that didn't really happen a whole lot throughout the movie. So
yeah. So them being in that restaurant, that is probably the best distraction you could probably get someone to do. By asking someone to celebrate your birthday.
Yeah.
It's like, I saw that and I was like,
many times.
Yeah, I thought of that.
yeah, but like if I feel like you could actually do that somehow. If you could properly make an instruction. Goes, hey, so if this is cake, I need you to go over there and sing a bunch of your guys just go sing Happy Birthday as a distraction. I feel like you could. I feel like that would be like one of the best like pranks you could probably do to someone. Just like see how someone like cringes or dies inside with just a bunch of people go Happy Birthday to you. Be like, oh Christ, in the restaurant, no, please stop.
We've done
They
that.
do that to Pat all the time. We've not been
Yeah, well, I think Pat groans ever so slightly, and it's perfect, and it's so fucking funny.
You
The
played
reason
that
it's
prank on Pat multiple times.
Yeah, like every time
So-
a meal happens, it happens.
So the reason it started is because we went to Pizza Hut once, and he ordered a dessert that came with like a little sparkler. So when the waiter brought it over, I saw this sparkler, and I was like, "Happy birthday!" And then the waiter joined in, and then the rest of the table joined in, and Pat was sat there like, "What the fuck's going on?" And because he reacted the way he did it was like, "All right, we'll just keep doing this." Then.
That's brilliant. That's
That's-
hilarious.
That's perfect. Oh man. Okay. We're going to. When do I see him again? I feel like I'll do that to him more. Okay.
I like the family scene when they were obviously when Isma and what's his face Punk were at the house. But I like the line from I don't know what the little girl was called. I can't remember. But when Isma's like, "Oh, tell us where the llama is," or and we'll burn your house down.
Yeah.
The little girl's like, and we'll burn your house down, or something like that. And then she's like, "Or." She's like, "Well, which one is it? Because our conductor's really important."
Oh, those kids were hilarious. They're like, yeah. It just kept going. And the fact that, like what someone mentioned, yeah, about it's just here to my great, and it continues after the shot cut away, and then he comes back and he's going great.
The setup for that as well, where it was like, "Oh, your family gonna be okay?" And he was like, "No, they're fine."
Yeah,
that's great.
They can handle themselves.
And then
Like-
she took out Yasma. Like the scene where she's plummeting down the side of the hill, and then the two of them are like literally do their thing, like whack her and stuff, and then it just doesn't make any logical sense how they managed to get there so quickly, but it's still hilarious.
I liked Quonk doing his squirrel class at the end as well. That was cool.
Oh, that was great.
Squeaky.
And he makes little kitty Yzma say squeak too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot another thing I wrote down for favorite scenes is when Cusco has to take like potion after potion after potion to try to take the human one, and then one of the ones he takes is the one that turns into back into a llama.
Mm.
He's like, "Yay, I'm
Yeah,
a
I'm a
llama
llama
again!"
again. Oh wait.
Oh wait.
Great.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's so many bits like that were just great. Awesome.
I do like that they went that direction with it all, though, because it's like, if the idea for it did come from some like random executive going, "I want a film with a llama in," then like, I'm glad that they just went, "We're just gonna have to do Looney Tunes." Like,
Yeah.
this-
Mhm.
Yeah, literally, that's the only way it could work,
yeah.
and it worked brilliantly. I was thinking of any other scene where the potions when and I think is it Cusco that's trying to figure out which one's the right one, and he's just like, and he's like, why do they
Yeah.
all have to be labeled? Why do they all look alike? And it's, it's that bits like that, and I think the animation in the whole is really quite understatedly quite good actually, because it's quite very Art Deco, very abstract at times, but very like sharp, and leaving that little stupid silly cutscene where it just cuts back so far of that monkey in a bug or something. I can't remember what it was, but it just cuts to that random scene of the monkey. It was a monkey, right? And Cusco, the narrator, is just like, wait, what? This is about me. What's going on? What are we doing this for? And they say, oh, and it just zooms back into the story again. Just very, very creative.
Yeah.
I think that's like the testament of like how far you can go for full break, where you have the narrator. Sorry,
And
the Naruto. John just had a message pop up, and it just distracted me for a second. Sorry, but yeah, when you have the narrator, who is the main character, argue with the main character at that point of time, and it's just like, how does that work? Like, I don't know. It's like that's like the top tier list of like full breaks. And the other one will be him stopping the film, going, "Hey guys, this film. Yeah, you see, it's not about him. It's about me, the guy in the bag. That's me. Yeah. It's this film's about me. Don't feel sorry about this guy. Crosses them out. It's a film about me. Okay, we'll go." It's just like oh yeah, just those sort of things are just those sort of things. It's that's I feel like that's similar to not similar. It doesn't quite reach up to Genie Aladdin level of full breaks or full jokes. That's a masterclass in itself because it's Robin Williams, right? But it's like that. It hits that sort of level nearly, not quite, yeah. But it's like it gets there, and I think, oh yeah, it's satisfying to see that sort of like full breaking joke.
Can you remind me what the fourth wall breaking joke in Aladdin is? Because I can't remember.
He does it.
Most
feel
of
like-
the scenes with the genie, to be fair.
Yeah. To be honest, like he the way that he, well, how to explain it? He does the things where he impersonates other actors all the time.
Yeah,
And
and they're all
that's-
good actors.
Yeah, and it's just like one of those things. It's all when he just like becomes Pinocchio just for like a split second, and it's just like wait, what? It's just like, oh right, yeah. He can do it because it's Robin Williams, but it's also because the Disney were like, you know what, go for it. We're just going to use you in a lot of the promotional things, which he was upset about, but we'll get to that when someone eventually picks Aladdin. I don't know who it will be. We'll get through most of the Disney library eventually, but it's like, yeah. But we'll talk about that. It's like, yeah, he does a lot of full breaking jokes in Aladdin, and it really does just help like build the character that is Genie, and it helps build Aladdin's character. But that, yeah, in any case, this has a lot of full breaking jokes. I wish I could think of more movies that had this level of full breaking jokes. But it's like, yeah, it's good for what it is, and it's still quite good at that.
The one where
Yeah.
it gets really confusing is when the narrator is talking to the character in the scene and they're arguing with each other, right? Cusco. It gets confusing because like they're disagreeing, but they're the same voice, they're the same person. It's just confusing.
I think it's in there.
I'll turn it off now. I put it on to dry my jeans.
Oh, alright. Sorry, what about heating?
Oh, so, I mean, there is a movie in mind that I have in mind that have a character that just argues with the narrator. It's just one of those things where it'll be like the narrator is talking to the story and he goes, "You shut up!" And it's like, did you just? And it's like the other guys with him is like, "Did you just seriously argue with the narrator? Stop doing that!" And it's just like, yeah. I'll probably choose it maybe this round. We'll see how it goes. But it's like, yeah, those sort of jokes are so funny. It's so good. It's just like, yeah, it just helps build the comedy. I feel like, if it's written extremely well, I feel like Full jokes can be some of the best sort of like laughs. You can get some of the best laughs out of those sort of jokes. It's like, and it can generally speaking, Full jokes can be generally family friendly, so a lot of people can laugh at them. So it's like, yeah, it's probably the best way to make those sort of jokes. Unless you're Deadpool, but that's a whole conversation in itself. So, any other favorite scenes or like memorable moments you guys have in mind?
I was really grossed out by the pill bug.
Oh yeah, that when he's like with the straw and everything. Yeah.
Maybe it just looks gross. Maybe it's really tasty. I don't know. It's one of those things that's like, you look at it, you go, Pacha was really into it. He ate the shell and all, so it's like, it might be really tasty. We'll never know.
I think it's the way. It's also combined with the way he ate it, like slurping it through a straw. It's just like, oh. But...
Okay, yeah, that okay, yeah, I admit that was just a bit too gross. It's like, if you ate it with a knife and fork, you'd be like, it'd be like, yeah, sure, maybe, but I was like, oh yeah, it's just giant pill bug.
Yeah. Wow. I think I said most everything.
You got any final thoughts, Rob, or Rachel, or Manuel, or Camilla? Oh, Ben?
I haven't. I don't know if Rob has.
You sound neat to say you have.
Just yeah. I mean, just in case you did.
All right.
You were away in the kitchen. Have you?
I don't know about in terms of like final thought. It's pretty cool to watch it. Like I think it's, yeah, like we've been saying all night. Really, like there's a lot of like humor that, actually, it's just a style of humor that I really like. So I'm glad that I did watch it. Yeah, I think it's a really good pick. I don't think I'd have watched it if it wasn't picked. So yeah, it's really nice from that point of view.
Awesome.
Yeah. Good. Yeah, it's our duty to pick all the great Disney classics. However long that takes, we have to do it.
Might be
I've
one
got
for
another
someone.
Disney on my list.
Yeah, mine's for family film round. No one can pick it. You're banned.
I mean, speaking though, some of the older Disney films have scenes that are kind of problematic. So it's a very hard choice to sometimes pick those films.
Yeah, we can't pick Song of the South, no matter what you want to do.
Don't don't make it sound like I was going to pick that, alright? Don't make it sound like that. Come on now. Woo! Hey, don't put that's a bad mojo. Don't put that bad mojo on me. Hey.
It's become such a regular thing now. Is like because on Disney Plus they've started doing those cards at the start of films that say like this includes like insensitive topics or whatever.
Which is fair.
It's become such a regular thing where like one of those will come up and I'm like in this film and I'll get like 5 minutes in and I'll go, oh yeah.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? When you think about it, you're like, oh, this is fine, and then you rewatch it and you're like, oh, actually, yeah, it's quite bad.
Like, you did as a kid, but then like as an adult, you're going like, shit, that was bad.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's like Dumbo has the crows.
Oh no, Dumbo doesn't just have crows. It has a lot more stuff. I didn't really. It's like one of my.
That's more than that.
Yeah.
There we go. Then.
Dumbo. I'll say this. Dumbo was one of those films that I was like baby, and I watched it on VHS on rewind, like on so much. I remember.
I love that film. I still have a really soft spot.
Yeah, the crows is one thing. I don't know if anyone's going to choose Dumbo, but there's like some songs in the middle. But if you know the lyrics, like what they're actually saying properly, you realize, oh, no, that's actually quite problematic. I didn't realize how bad those lyrics could be. It's like, oh, it's not good. And I've been like, but that was one of the catchy songs. Oh no, I've been like, that's one of the catchy songs. I was like, oh fuck.
Yeah,
I was like, yeah.
I don't want to know, but I should feel like we should know that. Okay.
You should. I mean, like, if when someone picks it, maybe me. We'll talk about it then. But it's like, yeah, it's like,
it's a shame when it's a really good film. It's like that Peter Pan obviously has the problematic Indian characters portrayed in that. And even Aristocats has problems in it too. And it's it's such a shame. But it's a product of its time, and not that gives it a kind of like an excuse. But just sadly, the films of that era just did stuff like that all the time. It's wrong. But it's just a shame because they're still overall their hearts are in the right place. The animators who made the films, at least I hope they were. But
the thing is, like, if you go back far enough, like it's sort of because studios have always been controlled by like really rich people, people who were like involved in some things that you don't realize how recent they were in history. So,
I mean, like if you want to talk Disney, you could just talk about Mickey Mouse himself and like. The early Mickey Mouse stuff is really fucking offensive to like the point where I never knew about it until I saw it with my own eyes. It's like, holy fucking shit, that's really fucking bad.
Yeah,
it's like,
what's up?
If you go that far enough, it's like, Walt Disney was probably a piece of shit. But
I feel, but I feel like during that time period, he was like, "Oh, it's accepted." That's why he got away with it because, like, oh yeah, everyone does it. Why can't my animated character do it? And it's like, it's like, wow, I mean, Disney is now Mickey Mouse is about 100 years old right now, so it's technically you think about it, you're like, oh right, he is 100. He is literally. He's literally 100 years old. Sometimes things that happened 100 years ago is probably not what things will happen today. But like, it's just like, wow, it's just really offensive.
Isn't it? Like it's the time it was, but it's also the social class he was in, and it's like, good question. It doesn't excuse it.
You have to look around and to figure out what whoever the creative was in charge of this and that. And sadly, Disney was the one in charge for literally everything. I think Jungle Book was the last film he was involved with. Everything after Jungle Book was not Disney. Walt Disney, I should say. So, it's...
Well, this is a really interesting topic because, we're at our point in time right now we ourselves are currently saying things that won't be okay like 20 years down the road, 30 years, 40 years. It's just like it's inevitable that like society progresses and becomes more and more inclusive and more considerate of like every group of people. But it's just like it's really complex, like to where I have difficulty, cutting people some slack for the time that they're in, or like were they truly just like not trying hard enough to be a good person. So it's just like it's really complicated.
Yep. And it's worse when the robot overlords take over, and we have a bunch of us dissing AI. So it's like we're pretty screwed. They're gonna go where it's our great grandkids, and they go like, can't believe great grandpa Simon said that about AI. Oh, that's offensive as shit. It's like yeah. It's gonna be something like that.
Maybe in the future, like AI will have sentience and they'll be treated like another person. God, imagine that.
I think it will
I was
be
just thinking,
like our like great grandkids will be like, yeah, like I mean, he seemed alright, but he did eat animals. It's a bit weird. Like,
It's true.
There's nothing wrong about that.
We're bastards, a lot of us.
But yeah, like picking movies with like really problematic elements in it, it's a difficult spot to be in, but it's a worthwhile discussion to just like, even though it could be like awkward and difficult to like make sure to distinguish yourself from like, I like this movie but I don't support and stand with like certain elements of it.
Yeah.
I think that happens with us a lot during the actual film itself. There's some films that have problematic actors in it that are still like very great films, but it's just unfortunately, I mean, I say for one of my picks was Usual Suspects with Kevin Spacey. Very good film, I feel like Usual Suspects, but it's like unfortunately with Kevin Spacey, it's it's a lot. It's a lot of problems with those people. But again, it's all of our classic conversations that we have. Do we separate art from the artist, the actor from the character, and all that other stuff? It's one of those problems again.
Yeah. It was a great film, but it's just like the problem.
I think it's always that though, because sometimes it's like themes and stuff in it. Like with a lot of like old hip hop, for example. It's sort of when I was a kid and listening to it, it's stuff that goes over your head. But then you listen to it as an adult, and like there's some stuff like the way that they talk about women and gay people and that kind of thing. Like more often than not, I find myself going like, "Shit, man, calm down." But I think you can still kind of, like appreciate the art and like you can still enjoy like what it is and not endorse what it's saying, kind of thing. I think you can still take stuff from it without. You can take stuff from it and be critical of those bits. And I think as long as you're not like just trying to ignore and excuse them, that's fine.
Yeah, there's always elements. There's never like one straight up thing. There's going to be like, there's an element of this that's problematic, but there's another element that's really brilliantly well made or well done, well executed, and something I really relate to emotionally, connects with me for XYZ, whatever reason. And I can put aside the bad thing, recognize it's bad, but I still like the rest. Like, obviously, Dumbo is like 90% still a really great animated film. It just has this problem of how people were portrayed back then and how it kind of like was stereotypes were like used in kind of a derogatory way. And it's like, and sadly, films, even in the 90s, as we said, that still did stuff like that in a different manner. And it's kind of like, this is really recent and it's a problem. Even like Any Given Sunday sort of elements of it too, not on the same level, but just touches of it will be like, yeah, that's a bit of a offensive depiction of a woman or a man or whatever, or however someone is portrayed. There's going to be something there. It's going to be like, yeah, this is a bit wrong. But overall, the theme of the film wasn't about that, so it doesn't really ruin it in a sense. Like if we were talking about when we did Luc Besson's Leon, that's a tough one because the subject matter is very linked to what the problematic themes are with it. So it's kind of more harder to kind of tear the two apart because they're so linked. So it's a case by case thing, I think.
I was just
Yeah.
gonna say that. Oh, spooky!
Yeah.
It is. That's what I was thinking. It's just like it really depends, like on like how much, because some things, some people, and how bad they are, and how much I disagree with them, will taint something to the past to the point where I could like, it diminishes my enjoyment. So yeah.
Yeah. And for me, it's like it's how close it is to what's going on. So with like Woody Allen, for example, like there's so many of his films that I love, but I can't watch them now because they're all love stories, and he married his stepdaughter, and it's like, well, yeah, you can't really take it in good faith. And then like with Rosemary's Baby as well, like that's so close to like why Roman Polanski's a piece of shit. And I think there's one train of thought where you go like, well, of course Roman Polanski made a great film about the devil when, you know, he is who he is. And then it's like, well, I don't know if I want to praise it for that reason. Like
It's like the subject matter of Rosemary's Baby is like just disturbing.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, the film is disturbing in itself, anyways. Didn't you fret to pick that film? Rob, what was it with you?
I did pick it, and then as soon as I picked it, I was like, "This don't feel right."
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Oh, yeah. You change it out. Yeah, it's like one of those films that we all went, "Oh Christ, Rob, really?" It's like, ugh.
It wasn't even that. It was like I picked it, and then it was like, I don't know, just like a wave of reason came over me, and I was like, I can't.
Man,
That's good.
I wish that happened when Dad picked on Jungle Police. It's like, I could pick this film, but a wave of reason just told me not to pick it. And it's like, oh no.
I didn't think Rosemary's Baby would be like a really interesting conversation about all this stuff, but it's like, I don't know, it's really difficult to connect to something that someone like that's made for me.
I mean, I guess the conversation will be like, we can choose. I guess this is like for speaking to the future selves of us. It's like we don't have to pick a film and to like connect with it. Sometimes, like a lot of times, I pick films. I don't really connect with it. I just think it'll be interesting to watch. Not sure how I'll feel about it. We just watch it as it comes along. We could all probably hate it, or we could go, "Oh, it's kind of interesting. Let's have a conversation about it." But yeah, that's how these usually go. I wonder how my next few picks will be now. Now I've said that out loud. I'm just going to make myself look like a huge hypocrite or like a really surreal. I'm going to be like, really sounds really stupid now. I've dug myself into a hole and I do not know how to get out. Fuck.
I pick films for academic reasons, and that said, here's Mrs. Doubtfire.
Christ. Okay. So, any other little bits and bobs, or are we tidying up to pick for Ben to pick his next film?
I'm all out of bits and bobs.
All right. So it's Ben's double bill.
So, some of you may know, and probably will have a feeling that well, at least one of them will be in a tribute to a great creative that we lost in the last couple of months. And it was about time we had a David Lynch movie and film club. And the first of my picks is the very underrated and I think masterful movie called The Elephant Man.
Nice.
Starring John Hurt and Anthony Hopkins. It's playing for free on BBC iPlayer, but if anyone wants to pirate it, go ahead. Because you don't always have to have a TV license to go and watch it. So we do what you must, but it's for free on iPlayer. So that was quite handy. However, the other film I do want to pick is not free, but I really felt it was the most appropriate one I could choose. It's not by David Lynch at all, and I think only Rob would have been the only one that have seen it so far. And it is the most recent film on my pick list so far, and it is A Different Man.
Ooh, nice.
Starring Sebastian Stan. Came out last year, and I felt it was one of the best films of last year, next to His Three Daughters, I think.
That was that was very nearly my favourite film of the year pick.
Wonderful, yeah. And I think it's, even if it isn't quite a masterpiece, I do think it's a terrific film that has so much in common with Elephant Man. It has very similar themes, but it executes them in a very different manner. It'll be a fascinating one to talk about. It is available to rent, but it's a bit more expensive, about $4.99. So hopefully you guys aren't too bothered about that. But I'm sure you guys will find it somewhere else, because I know sadly it is playing for free on HBO Max in the United States. So unless you can figure out watching it through that, great. But I spoke to Corey about it the other day, that I think it's on these apps that we don't have in this country, so I don't know how anyone would go around it. But you can rent it legally. So.
Oh wait, quick question, Ben. Elephant Man was 1980, yes?
I believe it was in 1980. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Just like, okay, maybe.
You can rent it as well, but yeah, it is on iPlayer.
Oh, okay. No, I've got it now. Okay. So like,
It is a black and white movie. They haven't remastered it.
Oh, weird. Oh wait, isn't? Oh, sorry. I just literally clicked on the Different Man, and it was one of the actors, who I guess is one of the main characters, was the guy from Under the Skin. I was like, oh,
Yes, Adam Pearson.
right.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
another link. That,
Yeah,
because
I
I
was
was like, when Corey picked Under the Skin, I was like, well, Adam Pearson, he's got a new movie out. And it was around the time Different Man was out in cinemas,
Yeah.
ironically. So yeah,
Man,
he's
I've
getting
got-
around.
I've got picks of more modern day or more closer to modern, recently released films. It's like you guys always pick some. You guys usually pick some very interesting ones. It's just like, damn it, I need to go out and watch films more. And that's a me problem, because like last time we watched the film was like, last time I watched the film and like enjoyed was Deadpool Wolverine was with you guys, but like also watched like the film I really didn't enjoy of Borderlands, and that just like fucking sucks. Just like sucks so bad. I think Emmanuel saw me just have like a frown during that movie, and they're like, "Wow, Simon, I've never seen you like so upset before." I was like, "It was just, yeah." Okay, I've got to try and find some more films. Oh, it's an A24 film as well. I just clocked that logo. So, interesting. All right, I got the iPlayer and on Google Play and App Store. It's on the Apple. It's on Apple TV. So everyone can watch it on Apple TV.
Yeah, it's perfectly available on Apple TV. But yeah, it is available on Amazon Prime as well.
Ben, do you know if the Elephant Man is available on Apple TV? Do you know?
Good question. I don't know.
It's a
It should be.
It says so. It says so. Literally on the Google.
I don't know about on Canada though.
It's a Studio Canal film, so if you've got anything that they stream on, it should be on there.
Yeah, because it's on Studio Canal Plus, which is a channel within Amazon Prime has a special Studio Canal Presents channel.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have it in British Columbia.
Yeah, like Canadian, depending on like location, sometimes like sometimes my library will be different, so.
Yeah, it is on Apple and Prime on Studio Canal. So you can do that for a free trial, so you don't have to sub extra. You can just do the free trial for a week.
Well, you know how I could access your Apple, right? So like if you were to do something through Apple, then we could share.
That's true, but I have used the free trial up on another film that one of us picked a couple years back. I don't know if I can try it again.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Because usually if you do it more than once, you can't use the free trial, so I have to just like doing the extra £4, which I don't mind doing. If there's nothing else, no other option.
Yeah,
I can cancel
think
it
like
a month.
when I look for Canadian options for Elephant Man, it's not streaming anywhere. Like I don't even think I could rent it, so I'm probably gonna have to do my own.
Well, I have my iPlayer login, so maybe you can try and do it that way. We'll experiment. Fine.
Interesting, yeah, because there are options. Just gotta find a way to finagle it. Worst comes to worst, we'll find a DVD and just send it to each other.
I do have the Blu-ray actually.
okay, yeah.
I could just like stream it on Discord. Anyone wants to watch it that way, I suppose.
Yeah.
That would be an interesting film for the first watch of them.
Yeah.
No,
Well, I'm surprised we haven't done that.
I told you, there's only one film that we could technically legally get away with it. And I think it's Dogma, because you can't. Dogma is literally free on YouTube. You can watch it right now, and it will never be copyright striked because it can't be copyright striked.
Yeah, but saying that, Simon, do you know what's happened recently?
What?
Kevin Smith has finally got the rights back for Dogma.
Was he really?
Oh shit! Really? When?
Yeah,
that's news.
He wants to do a proper re-release this year, apparently.
Oh, that's
so it's not. Well, so it's not like what happened. It's not what happened like last time, where you said this, and I go, "Was that an April Fool's joke?"
That was a troll, but this time apparently it's real because it wasn't just Kevin Smith quoting it.
Okay, that's different. That's different because he might be doing I thought I was like, he said it again. I was like, the boy who cried wolf, right? I'm not quite sure if that's correct or not. Right. So if multiple people are saying it, it shouldn't be lying. But it's like, if he's actually got the rights back, that's fucking interesting, right? It could really go. And that could be very interesting. I could finally actually own Dogma on DVD, which is probably one of the things that could happen. Ah, awesome! That's awesome.
Did you hear about what happened when everything started kicking off with Harvey Weinstein? And he apparently phoned Kevin Smith, and he was like, "Oh, I just want to talk about the rights for Dogma because, like, I know you've been wanting to do a re-release for a long time, and I think I'm finally ready for us to work together on it. So, if you want to do this re-release, and we can work together and like all this." And apparently Kevin Smith left the phone call like really like happy and excited that this was finally going to happen. And then he found out like a week later that Harvey Weinstein knew that everything was going to come out in the press, and he was phoning Kevin Smith to see if he knew anything about it, and he had no intention to do anything.
Oh, that's bastardly.
Oh man.
Yeah. That's why it got. That's one of the initial reasons why it's free on. That was able to be watched on YouTube for free completely, because they knew that anyone trying to copyright it would have to get ownership of it, and if you want to claim ownership of it, you'd have to have the rights for it. But none of the rights happened. Are in the right. It was in a legal purgatory, so no one could ever copyright strike it because no one had the proper rights to it. So it's so you can just watch Dogma on YouTube for free. But I guess now that if what you're saying about Kevin Smith actually getting the rights back properly, yes, I could not wait until I watch I can't wait until go to the cinema and watch Dogma 2, the rise of Jay and Silent Bob. That's probably what it's gonna be. That'd be great.
Did you watch Clerks 3, Simon?
Huh?
Did you watch Clerks 3?
You said you talked about it, and I heard the details of the story from you, and I was like, that sounds fascinating. I just don't have time to watch it. It's like, because it sounded so good, because that explains alternate history or alternate versions of the film, because of because there's one ending and you have the other ending. I was like, because that could be how he wrote it originally, and he changed. Yeah, that was fascinating to have the idea. I would have loved to watch it. I haven't. It's the same thing with Love Exposure and other things. There's so much I could watch. I just never have time, and I just forget about it. And I'm like, but I've got video games. and it's like, oh wait, no, I should be watching the film, but I've got other video games. I've got I'm stuck in between watching films and playing video games. I've got the same sort of backlog. I mean, I don't have the same sort of backlog as John. Maybe as Pat, maybe. Actually, maybe not even. I mean, no, saying that's not true because Pat actually has quite a lot of backlog as well.
If you look at Pat's trophy list, you would faint because there's so many games under 5%.
He just buys them and plays them for like 5 minutes and then.
Did you ever hear what happened with Alien Isolation?
No. What did happen with Alien Isolation?
Oh, it was so funny, man. So Pat was like, "Oh, I've been playing Alien Isolation. I think you'll really like it." And I was like, "Sweet, I'll pick it up." And I played it for like literally 15 minutes, got past the tutorial, and I lost concentration on something. So I messaged Pat and I was like, "Oh, I'm stuck on this bit. Like, I know it's really early, but like, can you remember like how you get past it just so I don't have to watch like a video on YouTube or whatever?" And he was like, "Oh no, I never got that far." And I was like, "What do you mean you never got that far? It's just after the tutorial." And he went, "Yeah, I haven't played the tutorial." And I was like, "Why did you recommend it to me?"
What the cuff?
I guess.
Yeah, what the hell? He said to me and Emmanuel that he loved the game and he played it. One of his favorites.
That's like me recommending like Black Myth Wukong, but not like because I mean, and then not being able to play it myself. That's weird. That's odd. Yeah. I mean, that's confused. That's a bit confusing. I mean, the only reason.
It's just like,
man, and I wanna get a Steam Deck or Steam Deck 2 or Nintendo Switch 2 now. I need to save money. There's so much shit coming out this year, and I just need to save some money. It just can't, just no time, no money, and I mean I have patience. It's just like I don't have patience because I don't have time. It just sucks.
If I had a PlayStation, I'd get a Steam Deck, I think.
Yeah, but like I could get a PS5, but like me holding the PS5 just be in my room will have to be kind of quiet. But if I have a Steam Deck, I could. That's the reason why I like my Switch.
You can get the remote thing now, where it's like a screen with two halves of a controller either.
Okay. I saw that advert, right, and I thought, isn't that the same shit the Wii U did? And I just got annoyed by it, just looking at the advert, and I was like, no, thank you. I don't need it. I'll get a Steam Deck and just like, I'll get myself a Steam Deck. I'm not going. If I wanted a PS5, I'll get a PS5. But like, I don't need a PS5. I don't even play my PS4. It's just like how it is nowadays. Yeah.
I must admit, though, the remote plays quite good on it because like I was down here the other night, so my PlayStation's upstairs, and I was down here on my iPad, and I was streaming the PlayStation to the iPad, and it was like it was plugged into the iPad. It was really good.
Nice.
That sounds. Yeah, that sounds like a budget issue for me currently. Then anyway, it's like I mean like there's so many Magic the Gathering pre-cons you can buy and stuff, So it's like you gotta save some money before I go. I mean, eventually when we go, I mean, I'm gonna have to. I don't know when we'll see each other again to do actual proper play. But if I have proper decks, I'll be like, all right, how many hours do we have? Let's get some Magic going. then have Pat win again. I'm like, fuck.
We need to arrange a time to play, man. I had such a good game on Friday, yesterday. It was so good. So I was playing my my mono blue artifacts deck. And there's 4 of us in a pod, and we were all down to like really low life. But the whole thing with that deck is that I'm trying to fill my graveyard up because I can cast things from the graveyard. And on the turn that I won on, it was literally now or never. Because if I didn't win then, I would have milled myself out. So I won with 4 cards left in my library.
Oh, silly! You are so silly. It's so dangerous.
I was literally sat there for like 10 minutes, like working out what to do. And like the guy who was sat next to me was like, "Are you working out if you can win this round?" And I was like, "I'm working out if I can not lose this round, but to not lose, I have to win."
Okay, that's fair enough. Yeah, yeah, that's the way it works. All right. yeah, that's how it is for Magic. But we will play. We will play. Yeah, and I will have hopefully my decks properly built now. And I just need to double check on the website you told me on which it is that I should check if my brackets are okay or not.
Oh yeah, Architect. Did I send you my Mono Blue deck on there?
No, you didn't say you didn't message. Yeah, I thought you got message me on Discord. Message me. I just sent the message on the link for the website now, and I'll save it for on the Discord. Now I can do it later because
Yeah, I'll stay with you.
yeah, I just for now I actually realize I should probably go to sleep because I still have work, and work is gonna be tiring lately. It was tiring today, but like at least I got my happiness back from opening a collector's booster.
Yeah.
No, nice. Yeah, it's a nice collector's booster. But for now, we'll say adieu, and hopefully I'll be here for next week's call because it sounds like it's going to be a doozy to see the different type of men or mans around here. Yeah. I don't know how you like your men. I prefer mine more elephant than different, but like different is elephant, I guess. Alright. Okay. Alright, I'll end the joke there. Alright. So good luck for you guys. See you guys next time, yeah?
Yeah, see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye. Good night.
Night.
Bye.